Civet is a very kind of typical animalistic note that you can find in a lot of different perfumes. Civet is an animal. The smell specifically perfumers would get from the glands of the civet, which is I think a type of wild cat or something similar to that. Most perfumes don't use real civet anymore. It's usually synthetic for animal rights purposes, but most people, or a lot of people, enjoy the civet scent because it is a very unique kind of musky animalistic scent, and quite a lot of perfumes use this note. Sometimes it's a bit hard to detect, but usually when you wear a perfume long enough, the civet comes through. So I'll review some civet forward perfumes in this video here. One you might not expect is Chanel No. 5. So this is just a very typical light floral aldehyde perfume, but what makes it unique is that it has these very kind of musky, bassy bottom notes, and those notes really counteract the lightness of the top and middle notes, especially the aldehydes, which are naturally just very bright and crisp. The aldehydes also give Chanel No. 5 a very unique scent, but the base notes for this perfume consist of civet, sandalwood, musk, amber, and oak moss. The civet, I would say, is the strongest out of any of the base notes, especially once you wear it over a few hours. The lighter notes kind of disappear and it leaves you with this muskier kind of scent. And especially the Eau de Parfum, which is stronger and more intense. But it's definitely a very civet-forward perfume. You can't miss that animalistic note. It's something very unique. Blending those light florals with civet is something that most perfumes don't really bother to do these days. They prefer to either be pure floral or pure, musky civet. But Chanel No. 5 does both, so it's definitely very unique, very classic. Another very classic choice, kind of from the same time period of the 1920s, is Shalimar. So Shalimar is kind of more of what you would expect from a typical musky civet animalistic scent. It's mostly a smoky, spicy perfume. It was designed to be exotic, kind of incensey, smoky, woodsy sort of fragrance, but it also has these very thick notes of civet and apoponax and amber and stuff like that. So that really gives it this very thick, heavy aura. And not a lot of female perfumes dare to do that, but Shalimar is definitely one of those rare exceptions. So definitely, now I would actually say Chanel No. 5 has a stronger civet note compared to Shalimar, because Shalimar airs a bit more on the smoky, spicy side, but the civet is still there, it's still prominent. It becomes more prominent the longer you wear it, the longer you have it on, so it's still a very nice kind of, the animalistic note comes out eventually. And then the next one, which is actually pretty similar, is Obsession here by Calvin Klein. So this came out in the 80s, so significantly more modern compared to Chanel No. 5 or Shalimar. But Obsession was designed to be as animalistic as possible. It wanted to be super sultry, super heavy, that sort of vibe. And it accomplished that because it not only had civet notes, but it also had general musk, vetiver, incense, some vanilla, some amber. All this mix of really heavy, spices and woods and civet. So it really accomplished being animalistic. It's one of the most animalistic, civety perfumes you could probably get your hands on. And it's also very unique. It is similar to, Guerlain's Shalimar, but it has its own twist on it. It has a bit of sweetness from the vanilla. It's not too smoky, it's not too spicy, it's mainly this very kind of... It's just unique. As soon as you smell it, you'll know, this is something special. The next one I have is, let's see, the sample of Coco by Chanel. And this is it has civet, but it also has tonka bean, a Papanax, some vanilla, sandalwood, and amber. So this is, even though it is by Chanel, the same designer as Chanel No. 5, it's very different. It's not so much of a white floral aldehyde fragrance as much as a mostly spicy perfume with some fruit notes and then those animalistic notes. And Coco is one of my favorite perfumes because while it is really warm and spicy, it's not too overpowering, it's not too much of any one thing. And the civet is nice because my one qualm with Chanel No. 5 is that, at least for me, the civet note can become a bit too strong, a bit too musky over time, over the hours. But Coco doesn't have that. Coco is more of a very smooth, the animalistic scent is still there, but it's much smoother, much kind of rounded in with those really delightful warm spice notes. So it's while it is a heavy fragrance, I wouldn't say it's as heavy as Obsession or Shalimar. It's a little bit toned back from those, but still very nice and warm, nice, that civet is still prominent. You're not going to miss it. And it's obviously, being from Chanel, it's going to be a high quality perfume, so you can't go wrong with it unless you just don't like that type of perfume. And let's see, the last one here is probably a lesser known option, which is Taboo by Dana. So this is also mainly a spicy perfume. You can get a sense of it with this color, this orange color here. Sandalwood, patchouli, oak moss, vetiver, and of course civet. You also have some amber in there. It's a very strong perfume. This is more of a niche, has more of a niche audience. Not everyone would like this because it's really strong. Probably on the same strength level as Obsession and Shalimar, with a few tweaks in the notes. Very, very animalistic and very innocent-y. So it would have to be for, people who can't get enough of animalistic smoky scents, because this is exactly what that is. And it has an exotic kind of flair similar to Shalimar. It has those spices, it has cloves, but it's mixed with orange, and not orange, rose, orange blossom, and lang lang. So the civet pierces through all of that. And, while it doesn't undermine the floral notes and the spices, the civet is still, it reigns supreme over this perfume for the most part. And, again, definitely not for those who maybe are not a fan of animalistic fragrances, because this is, along with Obsession, one of the most animalistic fragrances I've come across. So keep that in mind when considering, these sort of perfumes. But besides that, those are the top civet forward perfumes, civet fragrances that I know about currently. If you have any other preferred civet perfumes, you can always mention those down in the comments below. If you like the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.